I was in my kitchen early one morning, waiting for the kettle to boil, when I realized I wasn't actually waiting for anything. I was just gone. Standing there with a phone in my hand as if someone had paused my consciousness while letting my thumb run on autopilot. I'd spent at least 10 minutes scrolling through things I didn't choose. Videos stacked on top of each other like someone else was flipping through channels inside my head. And when I finally came back online, I had no idea what I'd watched. No memory, just emotional static, a kind of background hum that didn't belong to me. And the strangest part wasn't the scrolling, it was the sensation underneath it. My attention didn't feel like my property anymore. It felt leased, borrowed out, hijacked by anyone who knew how to trigger a micro-reaction in my nervous system. My first instinct was the usual self-blame. Get it together, have some discipline. But that's like telling someone to just swim harder while they're trapped in a riptide engineered by experts. This isn't personal failure, it's environmental design. And that design didn't begin with the smartphone. It didn't begin with apps or notifications or infinite feeds. The roots were planted long before any of us existed. People love to say our crisis of attention is a modern thing, a digital glitch. But the digital world is just the most efficient delivery system for a much older project, the management of human behavior. If you walked into a certain building in London in 1921, polite on the outside, clinical on the inside, you would find people dissecting the human mind with the same attitude engineers bring to machinery. That building was the Tavistock Clinic. Officially, they treated shell-shocked soldiers. Unofficially, they learned something governments and corporations still salivate over. Stress and confusion don't only harm people, they make people easier to shape. And once you understand how to push a population into a psychological corner, you don't need charismatic leaders. You only need emotional levers. Those ideas seeped into education, advertising, media strategy, public messaging, and policy. Invisible ink running through everything. The goal was simple: predictability. Not stability, not well-being. Just predictable responses. As the decades rolled on, culture changed shape. The world got louder, faster, brighter, but people didn't. Industrialization taught society to value efficiency over rest, output over interiority. The moment you mass-produce goods, you soon mass-produce desires. And once desires are manufactured at scale, emotional distraction becomes a feature, not a bug. There was no villain twirling a mustache, just systems evolving toward whatever kept them running smoothly. And a distracted population is easy to run. A long time ago, life had edges. Work ended. Light faded. The world went quiet. Today, there are no edges. There is no off. The mind is forced into a 24-hour environment that never fully lands, never fully rests. The body interprets this as danger, not in the dramatic sense, but in the subtle biological sense. A sense of continuous tension, as if something is unresolved but can't be named. This isn't a personal malfunction. It's a nervous system responding to unnatural conditions. A culture built on constant stimulation is, by necessity, also built on constant dissatisfaction. Dissatisfied people do three things extremely well. They consume. They compare themselves to others. They seek distraction from the comparison. This cycle fuels industries. It fuels political messaging. It fuels advertising. It fuels the constant churn of news. Your discomfort has an economic function, a social function, a political function. And the more you feel slightly off balance, the more predictable your reactions become. Predictability is currency. We are drowning in information and starving for meaning. The brain can process data, but it needs context to turn data into understanding. Without context, everything feels urgent. Everything feels equally important. Everything feels like an emergency. which is why the world can look calmer outside your window than on your screen, yet your body reacts to the screen as if it's reality. Because for your brain, perception is reality. Outrage isn't an accident, it's efficient. Anger, fear, indignation, they glue attention to the screen better than joy or nuance or calm ever could. Platforms don't need you thoughtful, they need you engaged. And the fastest way to engage a human being is to activate the emotional circuitry that evolved for survival. When you're angry, you're predictable. When you're confused, you keep scrolling. When you're overwhelmed, you become passive. None of this makes you weak. It makes you human. Then comes the identity problem. Modern culture gently teaches you that you're supposed to have a polished image, a constant opinion, a public-ready personality at all times. So you construct a character, a version of you optimized for visibility and approval. Not because you're superficial, but because the environment rewards performance. But performing eventually replaces being. And when you spend long enough inside a persona, you forget where the persona ends and where you begin. This isn't deception, it's exhaustion. But if you're still here, reading, listening, reflecting, it probably means a part of you hasn't fully surrendered to the performance. Not the anxious you, not the scrolling you, not the you that keeps trying to keep up. I mean the deeper one. The quiet intelligence that existed before algorithms learned your name. The part that whispers, without words, "This isn't what living is supposed to feel like." That voice isn't paranoia, it's memory. It's the human capacity to sense misalignment. People have always known when an environment is wrong for them. We just forgot how to trust that knowing. Something strange is happening today, and it's becoming more visible by the year. People are tired. Not in the physical sense, but in the existential sense. You can feel the mismatch between the human mind and the world we've built around it. The spell is thinning. More people are recognizing the artificiality of their routines, the manipulation in their feeds, the hollowness in their achievements, the noise masquerading as meaning. The system isn't collapsing, it's being seen. And that's worse for the system. Once you notice the strings, the puppet show stops being convincing. So here's the real question. The one that matters more than any conspiracy, or any theory, or any history lesson. Who are you when you stop reacting? Who are you when the algorithm doesn't have a script for your next move? When you stop performing? When you stop chasing what you were told would fulfill you? That version of you exists. It's not a future self you need to build. It's the original one beneath the layers. The real you isn't missing, just buried. And now, for the first time in a long time, it's resurfacing. Once you start remembering that version of yourself, the rest of the machinery loses its grip. You stop being predictable. You stop being manageable. You stop being extractable. And that's exactly why they don't want you waking up. You're noticing the seams, you're noticing the tension, you're noticing what feels wrong and what feels real. You're not malfunctioning, you're awakening. And awakening is disorienting at first, but it's the only moment where the script ends and the real life begins. Once you cross that threshold, there's no going back. And honestly, good. If you've watched this far, something in you is already shifting. Maybe it's awareness, maybe it's curiosity, maybe it's that quiet voice inside you that's finally being heard. Whatever it is, you're part of a small group of people waking up in a world that benefits from keeping most of us half asleep, and that alone makes you important. This channel exists because of people like you, people who question, who feel deeply, who refuse to live life on autopilot. And honestly, just by being here, watching, listening, thinking, you're already supporting this work more than you realize. If you want to take that connection further, adults who choose to become channel members help keep this space alive and independent. Membership gives early access to videos, behind-the-scenes thoughts, and a closer place in this growing community. It's a way of saying, I'm in. I believe in this. Keep going. And for adults who feel moved to go one step further, the Super Thanks feature is another way to uplift the channel and show appreciation. Every contribution, big or small, helps me dedicate more time, more depth, and more honesty to what I create here. But hear this clearly. Your presence alone already matters. Watching, commenting, sharing the video with someone who needs it, that is real support. That is real impact. And I'm genuinely grateful for it. So whether you're just passing by or becoming part of this community in a deeper way, thank you. You're helping shape something meaningful here.